8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The Chongqing government assures the authorities that help will be provided for poverty alleviation and rice production in Sri Lanka. 3 dead after tree falls on a garage in Akureyri. CBSL urges banks to adequately reduce lending rates without delay. New tax on imported coconut oil from next week. The water levels of many tanks and reservoirs are decreasing due to the prevailing dry weather condition. In foreign news, North Korea fires several cruise missiles into sea as tensions soar. A high-level delegation from Chongqing CPC Municipal Committee Secretary Dr. Yuan Jianzhong is also a member of the Communist Party of China Central Committee Politburo, called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees today. The Prime Minister requested the delegation to share Chongqing's experience of successfully alleviating poverty and ensuring food security by using hybrid rice and other food crops to increase production by several times. Dr. Yuan Jiazhong assured that China would extend its fullest cooperation by encouraging large-scale investments in the industrial and agricultural spheres. He also agreed to provide experts on hybrid rice varieties and other fruit crops in Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister thanked China for the support given towards the agriculture, industry, education and other fields. The Prime Minister said Sri Lanka looks forward to China's support in restructuring its debt and further strengthening its economy in the near future. 3 persons are reported dead after a tree fell onto a garage this morning, the police say. The incident took place in the Akureyri area. It was reported that the gusty winds in the area brought down a large tree onto the garage, killing 1 individual on the spot and injuring 4 others. The injured people were initially rushed to the district hospital in Akureyri, where 1 of them was pronounced dead. The other 3 were later transferred to the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital for additional medical attention. However, another person also succumbed to injuries, bringing the death toll to 3. Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has urged licensed commercial banks to take immediate measures to adequately reduce lending rates in view of the recent reduction of policy interest rates. Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, in a letter directed to the Sri Lanka Banks Association chairman, said the central bank would be compelled to take administrative measures in the event the banking and financial sector fails to take adequate and expeditious adjustments in this regard. Explaining that the central bank recently dropped the policy interest rates by 45 basic points on 2 occasions with a view to enabling the economy to reach its potential while stabilizing inflation at mid-single-digit levels in the medium term and erasing pressures in the financial markets, the governor said it is thus expected that market interest rates, particularly lending rates, will adjust downwards adequately and swiftly. It is also expected that the banking and financial sectors will pass on this benefit to individuals and businesses, thereby supporting the rebounding of economic activities of the country and enabling borrowers to repay credit facilities, which in turn enhances the asset quality of the banking sector, he added. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and we continue with local news. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyabalapitiya says that an import tax will be imposed on imported coconut oil with effect from next week. Speaking to the media this evening, the minister said that this tax comes into effect with the aim of safeguarding the local coconut oil manufacturers. Siyabalapitiya further mentioned that the tax is likely to be 25 rupees per litre, as already discussed. The Mahavali Authority says that there is a problem in providing water for cultivations in the Yala season, as water levels of many tanks and reservoirs are decreasing due to the prevailing dry weather condition. Deputy Director General of the Authority, Nilantha Dhanapala, says that the Natchaduwa and Walawa zones face more difficulties as expected monsoonal rains had reduced significantly. Although torrential downpours over the past few weeks brought much-needed relief to several arid regions, observations have been made that the water level in tanks is slowly dropping to their minimum operating levels. The irrigation department says many tanks in Anuradhapura, strikingly the Nachaduwa tank, has run moderately dry. The irrigation department is of the view that poor rainfall distribution has been a significant challenge on rain-fed agriculture, even in the regions considered to be receiving enough. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri says that President Ranil Wickremesinghe has discussed India's intervention for the progress of the Tamil people in the plantation sector who have been in Sri Lanka for about 200 years. The minister pointed out that during the visit, attention was drawn to setting up a university in Nuwara Eliya and also to establish Indian universities in Sri Lanka. Minister Sabri further emphasized that it was agreed with India to acquire new technical knowledge required for agriculture, animal husbandry and dairy farming on the island, for which a joint declaration of intent was signed.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Consumer Affairs Authority says that raids will be conducted continuously to apprehend traders who do not exhibit the prices of their goods. Chairman of the authority, Shanta Niriala, said that new rules will be implemented to protect the consumers. That came to you in Watchlight. World News, first the headlines. North Korea fires several cruise missiles into sea as tensions soar. Biden chooses Admiral Lisa Franchetti to become first woman to lead U.S. Navy. Brazil. Lula tightens gun control amid surge in ownership. North Korea has fired several cruise missiles towards the sea to the west of the Korean peninsula, South Korea's military said, marking the second missile launch in apparent protest over the arrival of a nuclear-armed United States submarine at a South Korean port. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said today that launches were detected beginning yesterday. U.S. President Joe Biden has chosen a female admiral to lead the U.S. Navy, the first time a woman has been nominated to head the Pentagon Military Service branch. Lisa Franchetti is a former head of the U.S. 6th Fleet and U.S. Naval Forces in South Korea and has also served as an aircraft carrier strike commander. Her nomination by Mr. Biden must still be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. One lawmaker is currently blocking the Senate from confirming military leaders to protest a military abortion policy. If confirmed as Chief of Naval Operations, she will be the first woman to become a member of the elite group of senior military officers who make up the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has signed an order to tighten gun controls in a bid to halt a surge in firearm ownership. Under Lula's far-right predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro, there was an almost seven-fold rise in registered users. Limits will be placed on stockpiles of guns and ammunition, while certain weapons, including 9mm handguns, will be prohibited. The new controls fulfill a campaign promise by Lula. The president blamed a wave of political violence during last year's presidential election on looser gun controls. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. North Korea fires several cruise missiles into sea as tensions soar. Biden chooses Admiral Lisa Franchetti to become first woman to lead U.S. Navy. Brazil. Lula tightens gun control amid surge in ownership. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
On to development news. Several selected coastal zones will be developed. The State Ministry of Coast Conservation said that these zones will be provided to investors to develop the economy. 24 such zones are to be developed, and that was development news.
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500.
We now take a look at sports news. The Asian Championship tournament, organized by the Asian Cricket Council, will be held on the 30th of this month. It will continue until the 17th of September. The first 3 matches and the 4 Super Round matches will be played in Pakistan. The rest will be played in Sri Lanka. That was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena daka pugina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship ekak menna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The arrival of foreign tourists has increased. Over 700,000 tourists have arrived in the island to date. The Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority said that the majority of tourists have arrived from India this month. The authority has pointed out that many tourists from Britain, China and Germany have also visited the island.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena daka pugina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship ekak menna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
A program has been initiated to empower the economy of poor families in rural areas. Measures will be taken to introduce new types of production and to upgrade the market. Another objective is to create new employment opportunities for them. The government has allocated 2.7 million rupees for this initiative and came to you in economic news.
Weather Report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. Several spells of showers will occur in the western Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Strong winds of about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour can be expected at times on the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Monaragala, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. To end tonight's news broadcast, the headlines again. The Chongqing government assures the authorities that help will be provided for poverty alleviation and rice production in Sri Lanka. 3 dead after tree falls on a garage in Akurasa. CBSL urges banks to adequately reduce lending rates without delay. New tax on imported coconut oil from next week. Water levels of many tanks and reservoirs are decreasing due to the prevailing dry weather condition. In foreign news, North Korea fires several cruise missiles into the sea as tensions soar. That ends tonight's news broadcast. The time is 9:01. This is Radio Sri Lanka.